What's up, people? You've got the Oracle there back for a new Oath of the Gatewatch draft, and we have a sweet pack there with a Salt Knot Seer, which I kinda wanna try out. It is likely to be much better in Constructed than in Limited. Still think I'm gonna take it. I would guess that some uncommons and maybe even some common are better than that. I would think about the Oblivion Strike, that is really a good common. Um, the White Enchantment removal is also a very good common. I cannot remember the name right now. And also the green uncommon 3/4 reach is very strong. Overall, that pack is not too exciting, but not bad either. I guess Raptors, Commando, Pathwarden, Lagak, Mouth Kozilek, and Translator are all decent creature, as those two uncommon are nice and this one is quite bad. Anyway, I'm taking the Salt Knot Seer, and I kinda wanna try that. It is also most likely worth a bit of money, which, you know, I can appreciate. And there we have a pack with not much. This is a containment membrane. The picture is messed up because my computer or my internet or both are garbage. Um, anyway, I think the two cards I'm looking at right now are Crumbling Vestige or Scion Summoner. Both kinda enables the Salt Notes here, which I can appreciate. I've been impressed with green so far, so I wouldn't mind going to that direction. I know it was awful in Battle for Zendikar, but I think with the release of Oath of the Gatewatch it became quite good. Uh, anyway, as I said, that pack is quite weak. Um, yeah, I'm really looking at those two cards. I will just take the spell over the land, as it is a fairly good spell, and you know, it is also an enabler for the Salt Knot Seer, which is sweet. Alright. Here we have another Crumbling Vestige, as well as an Isolation Zone, which is the common enchantment that I was talking about before. I would take the Avenger over Analysis, despite me loving card draw spell. And Depleter, I guess, goes into the colorless theme. That pack has a lot of options. I could see argument for the Depleter, as it is good if you have enough enabler. Vestige is just a safe pick, goes well with what I have so far. And then we have Crawler. Honestly, I would rather have Vestige than Crawler in my deck as a colorless fixer. The body of the Crawler is just very weak, and the acceleration it provides is not great. I don't really like playing green-white too much. I'm just gonna take the Vestige. Maybe taking the Zone would have been a better pick. I'm quite unsure. Honestly, I don't see much white here, so I do not feel too bad. You could honestly take the Zone. It has just much more upside. It is a stronger card. But as I said, white-green is not my favorite, though I could easily, you know, just not really go in green. Also, white doesn't pair extremely well with colorless, so despite Vestige being a weaker card than the Isolation Zone, I just took that just for, you know, having some synergies and continuity in my deck. Anyway, the two cards I'm interested in there are Vampire Envoy, which I found to be fine, especially good in the Ally deck, or Flaying Tendril for a black deck. I like black-green a fair amount. I think that's gonna be my pick. It does not go too well with the Scion Summoner, but taking that now means I can, you know, build a bit my creatures and my curve around that and make it stronger. Uh, I mean, those kind of spell are good in the right deck, so I do not really mind picking that here. As here we have a choice basically between a Settlement and a Spider. That pack is quite weak. I like Spider a good amount. On the other hand, I really want to be able to cast that most of the time, if not always. Also, taking the Settlement keeps me a bit more open if I, you know, I end up not playing black or not green. I guess mostly for green, because you know taking the spider there means I kind of really want to play green. Spider is quite decent with the tendrils though. Not an easy pick. I've been impressed with the spider. I'll take the settlement though. Just by taking those, I keep my option a bit more open. This is how I would argue about those picks. Here I'm very likely to take the Thought Harvester, which is just a great 4-drop and goes well with Summoner and Thought Seer. So yeah, that's gonna be my pick, and I'm quite happy I didn't took the spider. I guess had I taken the spider, I could take another one here, but the Thought Harvester is just a stronger card and goes well into a colorless deck. Alright, Warden of Geometries is a bit like the Hedron Crawler in my opinion. It is just not the best way to enable your colorless thing. I just rather have lands. Um, the best card in this pack is likely to be the Commando, which is a very good body with a relevant ability in the right deck. I think my pick is just between Ward and Waste, and I think that honestly I like Waste more. I mean, paying 4 mana for a 2-3 Vigilance is just quite bad. I'd rather have stronger spells and you know, ways to enable my things. Here we have a Cultivator Drone, which is better because the body is better than in Crawler or Warden of Geometries. The issue is that you can only use it for colorless ability and spells. I still think it's quite good. It is also a card that would go better with Flaying Tendrils than Saddleback, which is a card that I do like, but I think I just like the drone quite for a good amount there, as it is one of the only colorless producer that has an actual decent body. Here we have it is weird because my pack was fairly weak and we still will two quite strong cards in Lagak and Translator, and basically I'm not sure. I can either go black or green. Summoner goes well better with Thought Seer, but I guess Translator means also that I have colorless for Thought Seer. Translator goes better with Tendrils. I'll take the Translator there. We'll see how it goes. Blue-black is also a nice color combination. As here we have a Submerged Boneyard, which is a good fixer for my deck, but I think I'd just rather have a Crumbling Vestige, as it's, you know, it also provide me a colored mana when I need it, as well as the colorless for Thought Seer. That aside, the Boneyard would be a very good card, and both blue cards there would be fine, despite the Entangler dying to Flaying Tendrils, unless I cast another spell, obviously. Comparative Analysis is a very sweet card that I would be happy to play. As I said, I love card advantage, and I love card draw spell. Unnatural Endurance is a surprisingly efficient trick. I mean, not surprisingly, but you get basically your creature to leave and to get 2 more power. It is quite good. Slip Through Space is also decent. Those are kind of the same thing. I'll take the Natural Endurance. Crab is not very likely to make the main deck, but if I'm short on playballs and need something really defensive, I could see myself playing that. Loam Larva, not my favorite. If I'm playing green, since it can fetch a waste, I guess it could have usage. Anyway, we have the start for a very sweet blue-black Eldrazi deck there, which I'm quite eager to play. Zendikar Resurgent is a card that is extremely underrated right now. If you have the occasion to draft and play that, do it. I think it is better than any uncommon in the set, except maybe some very strong thing like the Seed Guardian I was talking about before. But really try that out. It was really strong in a draft I uploaded in the channel. I also played another draft that I didn't record where I played 2 Resurgents, and it was great. I just like this card a lot. Bailout Null, also strong if you can be green-black, obviously. Seed Guardian, very good. but I think I'm quite settled on blue-black there, which means I will take Grip of the Roll, which is a strong one. Better than the messed up picture membrane there. Anyway, those two green cards are really, really good. The Seed Guardian is amazing. That thing is just so great and efficient. But I'm happy taking the Grip there, as it is a good 3-drop, a bit of, a way to deal with things on the board, basically. That pack is much less appealing. Void Shatter is, in my opinion, just better than Interference, but I would say that the Spell Shrivel from Battle for Zendikar is overall just better. And I guess Sweep Away is not my favorite, but sometimes proved to be decent. Um, it is also quite good if you are playing a bit defensively. Um, those spells goes a bit better with my Salt Harvester, but the ability is not too relevant on this one. It's more for the body than anything else. Translator is strong, but I have already another one. I feel like I do have already enough colorless, so I don't need the Shore, especially since it's one of the less appealing fixer. So I'll just take Sweep Away, which, as I said, is not my favorite, but remains quite good. Sorry, bit of cough there. Anyway, River Drone is good in an aggressive deck. I'm not really aggressive enough. Vision of Brutality is the same thing. Void Grafter is great, but I don't really want to play a 3-color deck that is splashing for another color and so not here. I don't think it'd be great. I'm just gonna take the Slaughter Drone, which, if you have actually enough colorless, is quite great. Um, the body is decent, and Death Touch is just so good. You can just attack through pretty much anything if you are on the offense, or trade with anything if you are on the defense. Basically, it is just a good card if you can enable it, and I can, so that's good news. I guess it's not the best to go with Flaying Tendrils, but if you have Tendrils and that in hand, you can just wait a bit. It is not forbidden. Um, anyway, Seer's Lantern, not really needed, not very strong. I guess Null Color are decent. It is a slow and grindy card, but it works decently well. It is also quite good with Flaying Tendrils, as it does resist it, and the Tendrils give you time to use that efficiently later on. I guess once you put the zombies, Tendrils is less good, but that aside, it is just a decent one. Immobilizer, quite strong. Settlement would be a decent addition, but I feel like I start to have enough enabler that I don't need too much to take those right now. So it's gonna be Null Color, not the greatest pick of all time, but it is decent. Spatial Contortion is actually great if you have enough to play it, and I think I will play at least 6 colorless source of mana, and that's enough to make that card great. So I'm very happy to pick that. Very sweet removal, as well as sometimes you attack with Sotnot's here randomly. They are tapped out at 7 life, and you can just steal the game out of nowhere, because it's also, you can also use it on your own creature. Anyway, Ward of Geometrics. Geometries actually is, as I said, not my favorite. I think I have enough colorless there. And Analysis is just a card that I do appreciate a lot, despite it being quite slow. Slaughter Drone is great there. Just very sweet 2-drop, both offensively and defensively, as I mentioned. Settlement would be decent, but yeah, I think 6 colorless starts to be enough, as there I'm quite happy to take the Boneyard, which I think will end up being better fixing than Waste, since I have enough colorless so far. So yeah, that's just a very sweet pick for my deck, and things are shaping up very well. And as I said, nobody respect that card, but just try it out. You'll be surprised on how good it is. Honestly, when you cast that, if you are not dead or in a very bad spot, this will just win you the game on its own, and there are not many answers for it. Anyway, the Chain Mage is not great in my deck for the fact that I'm not playing any ally and I'm playing a Tendrils, it is just bad, so I'm just gonna cut the Resurgent. Um, Try that out, honestly. It is really sweet. Guess I'll take Void Shatter, which could be an option in some matchup where the opponent plays big and threatening spells. Reaver Drone could end up in the main deck. Not really trying to attack my opponent early, but you never know. Think I'd rather cut the Immobilizer than take that Chain Mage, which will not end up in the main deck. Guess I'll take it now. Um, don't really want to play Tendrils and Void Chatter in a 3-color deck, so it is likely that I'm cutting the Shatter, as it is unexciting and quite bad for the mana base too. And currently we have 15 playable, which is a decent amount. We are lacking a bit of 2 drops and of removal actually, because my deck is kinda control-y, I would say, and I have just Fling Tendril, Sweep Away and Grip of the Roll as removal, or you know, not even removal but way to deal with the board. I guess the Death Touch Loader Drone kinda helps for that matter, but I really could use a bit of removal, as this pack has just nothing for us. Healer is very strong in the right deck, Nether Drone 2, Outnumber is good, Rider and Renewal are good in the right deck. Reproach is very strong. I think it was quite good in Battle for Zendikar and now it's even better. But for that deck there is just nothing. That's very disappointing. I don't want to play a Salvage Drone, that thing is quite bad. There is just nothing. Guess I'll take the Reproach as it is the best card and I could splash that. It's not very likely, but it's the best pick for me, honestly. There's nothing I want to play there. Just nothing. That pack was very disappointing, as here we get another pack that is extremely disappointing. Skitterskin is not good in my deck. In some deck it can be decent, but even when you can enable it, it is not that great. Guess I'll take the Sheer Drop. I don't really want to play a 4-color deck, but looking at those packs and the things I'm getting, it might happen, unfortunately. It is really not my favorite to do so, though. Bone Splinter is bad in my deck. Those packs have been so punishing for me. There was just nothing. I cannot enable that cruiser with anything except for the Tendrils. And no, null colors only remove in my graveyard. Yeah, those packs are just awful. Just awfully bad. And it's not like I'm missing a lot, they are just quite bad overall. Guess I'll take the cruiser and most likely not play it. And there is a Rolling Thunder there, which I'm not sure what it is doing there. Probably that people are not playing red, but I'm quite surprised to see it third pick. That's not too late, I guess. Well, there I'll take either Infiltrator and Dominator. Since I'm not really aggressive, I think I'll take the Infiltrator. I don't really need the Ingest, but I think in my deck I'd just rather have this body with this ability than the drone. Overall, this is another very unexciting pick. And also, the Infiltrator goes better with Flying Tendrils. As here, I guess I'll take a Reclaimer. Don't have much to enable that, though. I took the Infiltrator, I have the Flying Tendrils, and the Salt Harvester, actually. Well, that card is good if you can enable it, so I guess that's gonna be my pick. Guide and Drone are fine, not too exciting, not great with Tendrils. Yeah, I'll just take the Reclaimer there. Channeler is good. I'm quite happy to pick that here. I don't really need much more mana after 5, but you know, just a 4/4 for 5 with a little bit of utility is decent enough. It also enables Contortion and Sotnot Seer, which I appreciate. question now is, should I splash the white or not? Alright, Titan's presence is actually decent. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a little bit short, but I think just enough to make that card good. It is also a card that goes very well with the Reclaimer, obviously. So I'm quite happy to pick that here. And since I don't have that many playables, I might end up splashing that white, despite that being not extremely appealing. Oracle of Dust or Familiar. Familiar is just a 2-1. Actually, I forgot that it had Death Touch. I think it is just better than the Oracle, especially given the number of 5-drop I'm playing with currently. Not too many. But I think mines are just better, and I'd rather have the cheapest spell. Also, like the drones, it can act as a removal, since it has Death Touch. You need the opponent to attack, obviously, but, you know, it kind of stops them if they have something like a big Eldrazi. I guess I'll take the Sky Rider here, which I think is the best card. And currently I have 22 cards there. Brilliant Spectrum. I'm playing a lot of color. Not sure that I still want to do that. Actually, never mind. This white splash is not going to be too hard with the... I forgot about the Vestige and the Settlement. Actually, that's not going to be awful, especially since those two removal are great. I guess you cannot really Vestige Reproach, but that aside, that's fine. Spectrum is not the worst. I think it's a bit underrated. It is, you know, I'm playing to analyze this. I don't think I really need that though. Quite happy to play a blue-black with a touch of white and colorless control deck. That seems fairly sweet. Cruiser seems still quite weak in the deck. I could see myself playing 18 lands since I have 2 card draw spells and my curve is not that that low. I'm also playing basically 4 color. Guess this might end up in the main. Not really though. Yeah, I think I'll end up playing 18 lands there. I think those 2 card draw spell makes it less, I mean, more unlikely that I get flooded. Unnatural Endurance doesn't seem great in this deck. River Drone neither. Actually, right now I'm playing, yeah, 22 spells. So, the crab is just... I could consider it if I had, if it was double colorless and 1 blue, but it being double blue makes it much less appealing. Chain Mage is just quite awful. Untamed Hunger is garbage. Cruiser is not great. I mean, if I can have a bit of enabling, I'd rather use it for the Reclaimer than anything else. As I said, Spectrum is playable. It is actually quite decent if you have those Vestige and Settlement. River Drone doesn't seem great, but I guess it can just trade with a 2-drop early on. I guess that's gonna be my main deck. Is that right? That seems about right. Most of the time I do not agree with what MTGO proposes, but there it might be okay. Those Vestige and Settlement just make the deck much more consistent. I'm quite glad that I picked those high, because they will just make the deck much more likely to do things. So I think double playing with Vestige and Settlement is enough to enable those 2 removal spells. That 6 blue and 7 black plus the Vestige and the Settlement. That seems enough. I might have a bit of hard time casting the Tendrils, but I don't have that many black spell either. So, yup. Guess that's gonna be... maybe I want 1 more swamp, 1 less island. Does that make sense? I should be careful when playing the Vestige during the games though. 5 blue. No, I kinda wanna stay like that. It might be hard to cast Tendrils sometimes, but we'll see. Anyway, I kinda like the shape of my deck. It is definitely interesting. I'm quite eager to try out that Sotnot here. I hope you enjoyed the draft. If you did, feel free to leave a like or subscribe. It is much appreciated. And I see you guys for round 1.